What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Guess who's back? Back again. David's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? 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 Na, 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 na. Okay, what's going on, man? Episode 703. All right. The breakdown. We're back. I'm back. What's going on? Good morning to everybody. Happy Monday, man. It is May 4th. May the 4th be with you, right? I honestly, I've never watched Star Wars. I know a lot of people will unfollow me for that, but I have never watched Star Wars. I don't know. I never got into it. Never saw it as something that I'd want to watch. So sorry to disappoint. Am I okay? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm fucking singing. It is beautiful outside. I am looking outside the office and I am office window and I'm like, holy shit, it is beautiful. It's going to be 75 degrees. I am ending this show at 2 o'clock. I got meetings until 3 and then I am going to tan my balls. That's right. And who knows? Somebody contacted me and said, Dave, listen, we got a private jet to get you out to Miami. If I go to Miami, I'm not making appearances. I'm just going to network. That's right. Quickly network, get some business done, and right back to New York. Ooh. We got a few guests coming on this week that are, I got to get prepared, man. I got to get prepared for battle. But what's going on? I hope everybody had a great weekend. It was green. That's right. It was green. It was all a dream. Oh, Biggie. But yeah, it was green yesterday. Everybody was happy. Everybody was happy. Everybody I talked to was very happy. I'm telling you, green candles change the mood. Green candles change the mood. It's wild. It's wild to watch, man. It's wild. Everybody wakes up out of a coma, man, and everybody's sort of nice to each other. You know, there's like this 5 to 10 minute thing of people being absolutely cordial with each other, singing "Kumbaya" and shit. So it's pretty cool to see. We will have I think we have Grant Cardone coming on this week. We have Peter Schiff coming on. We got a bunch of people that are stopping by to shoot the shit on the breakdown. Who knows? Maybe I'll get David Schwartz on here too. Talk about XRP. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, still dope to see the Bitcoin going over 80K. Bitcoin going over 80. By the way, Charles came on to the show last Thursday, and we spent an hour having a conversation, and them clips went viral. People clipped up the show, and I'm talking about there is conversations happening on X, bro. X, formerly known as Twitter. There are conversations happening. People are fighting. Nothing that Charles, the crazy part is Charles didn't say anything crazy. Like, he came on here, he didn't say anything fucking crazy at all. Like, he comes on here, we're having a conversation about crypto and everything that's happening here, and like, it is absolute mayhem in the comments. Even Adam Back, which we hope to have him on the show as well, so we could talk about Bitcoin. That's right. I'm telling you, a lot of things in the works, and it's really cool. Really fucking cool. Shout out to the Bobo clan. That's right. Bobo's migrating. I think has it already migrated, or is there an hour before it migrates? But essentially, Bobo has done a phenomenal job migrating over to Solana, and I only expect big things from Bobo. So there you go. Look around and find out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you heard about me. I don't know. Yeah, I had a fantastic weekend working out. Really did have a fantastic weekend working out. Went over one of my friends' places, and he has a gym as well. He has some more equipment in the gym, and I was just having the time of my life. I was like a kid in the candy store, man. I was having the time of my life, just doing pull-ups, everything, chin-ups, pull-ups. Like, by the way, I was actually thinking about this as I was doing a pull-up. I was like, if you're a man and you can't do a pull-up, you're not a man. If you are a man and you can't do a pull-up, you are not a man. You cannot be classified, or you cannot classify yourself as a man. And I'm talking about real pull-ups. I'm talking about going all the way up and all the way down. I'm not talking about this half-ass shit, okay? Seeing some half-ass shit going on here. By the way, let me go ahead and just get rid of these rumors out here. I'm not on REKT, okay? I brung GIGI on here on Friday, and she was like, "Are you on REKT?" No, I'm not on REKT, GIGI. I'll see you in Florida. Apologize to me for saying that kind of stuff. Whatever happened to going to the gym and working out? Whatever happened to just going to the gym and working out? You can actually go to the gym and work out and lose weight. I'm just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. A lot of things to talk about, though. Pull-ups gives you more strength and agility and works your core. Yeah, every session, every single day that I work out and train, I always do pull-ups and chin-ups. I use my body weight I really dips, all that stuff. I am literally 100%, and this is crazy because I'm always in shape. There's been times where there have been times, one time that I really just like. I think it may be. I think it was maybe due to my dad's death that I went ahead and I don't want to say let myself go, but I was on social media and probably let myself go a little bit, I guess. But I'm quick to it takes a week and I'm already almost in shape. Anyway, I, I'm thinking about myself being in shape. I've been in shape throughout my entire life. I'm probably in the best shape of my life right now. And no, I'm not taking steroids and all this shit. Like I'm literally working my ass off. That's what I'm doing. He said 150. Nah, but I'm 180, but I'm trying to I need to cut I need to cut 10 in order to go ahead and I'm competing and shit and I think I need to drop 10 pounds. Even though I'm good for 180, but I need to drop 10. At least for this competition and then just gain 10 pounds of muscle back within a month, whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about this because this is not men's health today. Okay, this is not men's health. Shout out to Bobo, Rex Takashi, the Bobo Council, all of them again migrating from Ethereum to Solana. Again, memes. To me, memes have always been the first sign of the markets telling you that there is a chance that they can come back or that they're starting back up. I don't know. But everybody's kumbayaing it. I'm not getting too excited. Listen, I'm happy, but I'm not getting too excited. I think I'm just numb. After all these years, I'm just numb to all this stuff. And I wrote it out there yesterday in a tweet. I said, at the end of the day, I'm not married to anything anymore. At the end of the day, this is all mining for me. Because I'm going after Bitcoin. And now, more so, yes, I am getting more Monero. And I think the guest in the back in the green room is going to be absolutely furious about this, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Might be. But welcome. Welcome. Just want to give you guys an update too. My knee has recovered. My knee has made a phenomenal recovery. I gotta tell yeah, I really can run circles around people that are like 25 years younger than me. It's just like it is not even fair. My top privacy tokens right now are Midnight, of course. And yes, we have a sponsorship here, but Midnight, of course, Monero, of course. I have Zcash. You can kind of say Litecoin as well, and we'll talk about that. Charlie Lee was on a program, and he said that he kind of alluded to a little bit, didn't outright say it, but kind of like said like he just wished it would have just been Bitcoin kind of thing. Like he didn't really make money from Litecoin, so he just wishes that his whole focus was on Bitcoin, collecting Bitcoin, and just staying anonymous. And his advice to the crypto space would be buy Bitcoin and just stay anonymous. So a lot of things to touch on, man. A lot of things to go ahead and go over. We got Landy for 15 minutes to go ahead and come in here. By the way, Landy has a show Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. You already know this. Mr. Chart himself, the chartist. They should make a movie, The Chartist, of an autistic monkey, puppet, whatever the fuck he is, drawing on a goddamn fucking canvas and shit. But let's go ahead and bring him in, man. Let's go ahead and talk to Landy here. Landy, what's going on, man?
Well, good morning, David. It is, well, actually, it's no longer morning where I'm at. Good afternoon, David. So, yeah, I would never begrudge you for getting more of a privacy token like Monero.
No, you
I
would.
actually hold
You
a
would.
lot of Monero. I actually hold a lot of midnight. A lot of people didn't participate in the glacier drop, and I've actually been talking to people who are like, there was a glacier drop. I was like, yeah, if you had ADA, if you had Bitcoin, Ethereum, like you could have gotten midnight. Like, did you not take advantage of it?
It's crazy.
And
It's
I think
crazy.
people just weren't paying attention to what was going on because the market was kind of shifting all over the place at the time. But now I'm hearing more and more, people ask about it or talk about it, which I think is interesting.
Adam
Um,
Back came right into the comments section. I got to tell you that there have been more than 50 plus clips made of that show that are
mm,
circulating around social media, and Bitcoiners are just in that section, and it is absolutely wild. I've been reading, shout out to Gokhstein Clips, the account, and also shout out to Angry Crypto for also clipping up that show. But it's been absolutely crazy. Can I just ask you one question, Landy, before we continue with Bitcoin and it hitting 80,000? I just
mhm,
want to ask you a question.
okay.
So, eh, like, I'm full of energy, right?
Mhm.
When guests come on, I smile. Like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to not smile? Am I supposed to look really fucking serious and angry? So I can't win here. Either David has a resting bitch face or he's smiling too much. I don't smile. By the way, I'm Eastern European, right, blood? I don't. Eastern Europeans don't smile much. Like we don't smile when the shit, like we don't fake it. Let me put it that way. There is no fake smiling. If I smile, I mean it. Okay, like if you crack a bad joke, I'm not going to fake laugh it. Like it's just like I'm gonna just sit there and you're gonna feel uncomfortable. And you're gonna be like, man, why didn't he laugh? Because it wasn't funny. That's why I didn't laugh. So I was smiling during the interview because there were things that Charles was saying that I found interesting and I found funny. And they're like, look at this nodding head, smiling motherfucker. That's what they said. I want to fuck this motherfucker up when he said that.
Look, I I I don't Charles is an incredibly smart guy, right? And he has been around since the beginning, really, right? And I value what he says. That doesn't mean that I agree with everything that he says.
Yeah,
Um,
I can disagree, agree to disagree, but
yeah. And I think that people take that out of context, like, oh, he's smiling, so he must agree with everything that he's saying, or and that's just for any kind of show that people watch. Now, obviously, you don't smile at the puppet much. That's because my beautiful face isn't on the screen. But
I think you're fat.
I I know I'm not. I'm not even close. No. Nope. I
Cade told me. Cade slid into my
Kate,
DMs and he was like, "Yo, he's fat as fuck."
I gotta get my what are those wheelchairs? There's a
Hold
brand
on.
for those wheelchairs, the motorized
Is
ones.
Cade a fellow Jew?
Kate? I don't think so.
It's Bergman, so I don't know.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I know that he's got some Japanese ancestry as well, so I have
Really?
no idea. Yeah. Maybe he is. I have no idea. That could be true. It is
I'm
the last
Viking,
name
so
might be.
like, it can. I don't know how the fuck that happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
How does
recall
that? Yo, seriously, we need to have a conversation. How does that happen? My blood is Viking. Like Scandinavian. Like what the? How did this happen?
Scandinavian and Jewish. That's weird. I don't
Yeah,
know how
how
that
did that
happened.
fucking happen? I don't even understand. How's that even possible? How did
I
it?
mean,
Jews don't like cold weather, man. What the fuck happened?
yeah, but then if that's true, then why is there such a high concentration of Jewish people in New York? It's
Yeah, yeah.
just
But I mean,
constantly
like, yeah,
cold
that's true.
and
New York,
dreary, and
Chicago, California. That's where the Jews hit up, or Florida.
well, they're getting out of California, going to Florida.
Well,
They know
everybody's
what's
getting
up.
out of except with some puppet I heard.
Puppets. Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking
Well,
all right, listen, Landy, what's up with 80,000, man? How are you feeling on this 80,000? By the way, just before you go, just want to let you
mhm.
know, yes, I came in for 5 minutes into the wolf, you know, Bitcoin space, and I listened real quick, and I think it was Lady something. She said, "Yeah, when GameStop and AMC go, I already know we're about to go ahead and collapse or some shit like that." So, what 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 are you feeling here? Um, with Bitcoin hitting 80,000.
Let's see if I can share this. I'm on a network that is literally brand new.
Yeah, do me
So,
a favor. Like, I don't want to see like you naked and shit. If I go ahead
yeah,
and share
no,
this
not
here,
not right now.
okay, thank
Maybe
you.
later.
Nobody
Um,
wants to see it.
yeah, well, there's a certain niche out there.
Yeah,
But
one that Cade came here today.
Kate, Cade, on that show, I think
Don't
you
stutter.
if you hopped in and heard her take, understand that her take is actually, based on technical analysis, and then she was describing some of the narrative behind what is
No,
going
no,
on in the wider markets.
I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just
Uh,
saying, look, my with me personally, you know me by now. Like,
yeah,
I can disagree with where the market might be heading, but I'm open to listening because I'm not right.
yeah.
In terms of like, you're not going to get all this shit right. You should be open minded to listening to everybody's take.
Well, right now, I just want to kind of illustrate that, we recaptured the low. This low is on the weekly here. Over here, this is the low side structure. This was the big monthly breakdown. We had a higher low in the monthly before going up and making new all-time highs at that 74.4 area. And in this case, 74.4 2069, because even Bitcoiners like memes. Um, but the close was at 78, and then we had another close at 80. It's actually around 80,500 to 700. We on the way down, we tested into this lower high here, which is 86 to 89. And then Bitcoin held there for quite some time after testing all the way through this area. So you had 86 to 89, and we spiked all the way down to this weekly zone right here between 78 and 80. After getting the breakdown from this zone that was holding up on closes for the weekly here, right at $86,000. We opened, swept above, and then just absolutely nuked down to some of the lower levels. And now we are retesting. We're retesting this swing low. We're retesting the breakdown after recapturing these swing lows over here. So this is a really important weekly zone around the 78 to 80. If Bitcoin can break above, this can continue to run. And where would I be looking for it to run? Primarily, if we start to see daily closes above the 80,500 to 700 area, I would look right to this line here. This is 82 and a half. This is a monthly area of interest. This is the higher low close on the monthly over here that defined that the close after the 74.4 spike down. So this is going to be the next area overhead if we do start to see dailies start to break above the 80,500 to 700 area, and I would want to see closes. Then I'd be looking to the 82 and a half to 83, and then potentially further up here to the 85, 86K, kind of depending on your chart, to 89 to 90K. So you can give it some room in and around these areas for price action, lower term timeframes. But I would want to see closes above this area on the daily that follow through on the weekly to start testing the mid to low 80s, and then eventually try to test up to 86 to 89 and potentially even 90. Things actually look pretty good here in Bitcoin land at the moment. One of the biggest things that I've talked about with you and on my videos and recorded format is that you really need to pay attention to the energy markets, in particular oil, because that's going to define the risk on versus risk off trade. And I know that there's, some escorts of ships by the U.S. through the straits to kind of free up some of those ships that have been trapped there since the beginning of the conflict. And we don't know what's going to happen, right? In terms of, if Iran does, hit any of those ships that the U.S. is escorting, you can guarantee that the full weight of the U.S. military in that region will come down on that regime, and conflict will be renewed. If we don't see any oil infrastructure hit, I would expect any kind of moves to the upside to be shorter term. If we see that Iran starts attacking any of the supply side infrastructure out of the newly OPEC free, um, UAE, or if they attack any kind of infrastructure coming out of Saudi towards the Red Sea, then that would be a fundamental issue. But anything else would be a speculative trade on oil. So if we see oil continue to head up, we have Bitcoin right at resistance. Just be aware that it could dump out if it doesn't make its way through or swings above and comes back down if oil stays strong. But right now, this is compression right at overhead resistance. If we start to crack above here, that's daily expansion into the area overhead. Mid to low 80s are the target. And that would be anywhere over this top side, 80,500 to 700. I'm looking for expansion mid to low 80s, and then potentially up to the upper 80s inside of this zone, in that 86 to 89, potentially even low 90s from there. If we do see it come back down, you want to see it holding the higher low structure on the daily around $75,000 inside of this 74 to 76 zone. If it does pop down below there, we're very, very highly likely going to hit that 70 to 72 area, top side first at 72 being a key area, and then kind of take it from there. This is an uptrend. And until the trend shows, signs of either breaking into, a downtrending structure by breaking below 75 or putting in a lower high, which we don't have a high yet, we just watch it. It's more likely going to, keep testing the highs. We had a pretty much perfect spike into the weekly overhead here inside of this weekly zone after finally seeing some closes back in here above 78, 78.4. So, not unexpected stuff. I would be looking for this to continue to show a little bit of strength. Just watch the oil trade, and that is, WTI and Brent, where we are seeing, a higher low potentially forming here. Any kind of closes above 107, and we would see that higher low locked in on a closing basis. But if we close anything like this, the swing low at minimum is locked in at 99.30. We would need to see 98 dropped, head down to 90 to 95. That would be good for markets and risk environment for risk on. Anywhere below there, even better. Anywhere up here, though, I think we have to be careful. If it does start to break back above 107, I'd look right back to the highs where, we had our targets before, which would be 110 to 112. We hit 110.93. Anywhere above there, we're running the highs again to 115, 120, and then potentially all the way up to 130 for WTI. Brent has a premium, same kind of support and resistance areas if you're using the candles, but I'm specifically referencing WTI. Why? Because that strengthened the dollar if it does continue to come up. We are seeing the dollar hold strong off of a key level around the $98 region on a close. So beware of bounces, and especially any reclaims overhead of 99. That's going to cause a risk off rotation in traditional markets, which we are seeing turning red. But what you like to see for Bitcoiners is Bitcoin's remaining relatively strong. We have gold moving back. We have silver moving back, and oil kind of keeping pace with an up day with oil. I would be very careful in and around these areas, because if oil continues to head up, this could very well become a rejective area, even if we do start to see it breaking out above. Um, we need to see oil head back down, because the risk rotation trade would be to risk off if oil continues up, and that will eventually make its way over to Bitcoin. And it wouldn't be surprising if we see it come from this particular area right at resistance. But so far, the bid has been good here. And it's not over until we start seeing, trend shift structure. So just let it go. See what it does for the rest of today into tomorrow. Still got a little bit of juice left to the upside here. We'll see if it can maintain that.
Very surprising though, because I would have expected. I mean,
Pull back.
I've seen it all the time with Bitcoin, with the Bitcoin conference coming to an end. That Bitcoin usually goes down. So just it did pull back, but it's
Yeah.
I don't know. Listen, why? Listen, can this still go to 60,000? Absolutely. But it's just like, let's enjoy the moment kind of thing. And I'm sure, sophisticated traders will set themselves up correctly. But like right now, let's enjoy the moment. That I don't know. I just live for the moment. Let's enjoy it. Like, do I want 60K Bitcoin? Yeah, because I want to pick up a few more before we go. But
And the fundamentals of the economy here are, we had a bunch of economic data that came out last week, and this is the first full week of the new month. So, I just would be, yeah, enjoy it. Just be careful in and around these areas if you are a long only type of person. As as traditional markets begin to pull back, if we do see a crack up in oil towards the highs again, 110 to 112, and then above to 115, 120, just understand that will start to erode the bid, meaning that you're just going to run out of bidders in this area for
yeah,
risk. And that doesn't mean that, it's absolutely destined to go and nuke to new lows, but I would be looking at downside and taking it level by level when evaluating where price is going. The last place that we put in a nice higher low is right in a key area on a daily at 74 to 76. So if we started to break down below 75, then I would entertain, this move is to the upside is likely over for a little bit, and we
yeah,
evaluate downside trend and just look for the areas of interest. Uh, you know, I I had a conversation, not really a conversation. It was a conversation after barbs were thrown, but I had a conversation with Joe C. Yesterday on a Wolf Space on a weekend, and in general, what I do believe is what you really got to be looking at when it comes to Bitcoin, especially because traditional markets actually look fine. Even if they got a really bigger, a larger correction, I think that they'd be okay. Um, that realistically, if you haven't already identified where you'd want to be laddering into Bitcoin for the longer term, that you should just, have those areas identified. So if price reaches those areas, you're prepared to have, a plan to execute for getting into position for the longer term. Um, I do think this is going to take a while for Bitcoin to shift market structure. I think that many are calling this a macro low at 60K when that has not been defined on the longer term timeframes. What I will say is, yeah, we got a monthly low. Let me zoom out a bit here. This is a monthly low side structure, right? So this is a lower low. And what we have in terms of monthly structure here is pretty simple, right? We had a nice uptrending structure, and I've talked to you about this a lot since we were at the highs, and I talked about this with you. When I was talking about 123 to 125, you remember that I was talking about, the longer term timeframes are in a compressive environment. I'm going to wait before calling it a bear trend. But if we did break down from 74.4, there is always the possibility that we get a lower low, a break of this uptrend that becomes a deviation on higher term timeframes like a monthly. That's still in play. It's not my first take, but that is always in play and it is a possibility. I've told you even last week, I would need to see close above 98 and consistent close over close price action on a weekly to actually solidify that position for myself. But you should have a plan for the longer term, especially if we do see things reject in and around these areas, or even if it pushes through to the mid to low 80s or even into the upper 80s to 90s. Have a plan for when it does come back down because price doesn't always go up in a straight line. You'll get periods of that, but where would you be comfortable accumulating for the longer term? And you should have a longer term horizon for this. Um, because there's only so much, and you and I know that there's some things cooking, especially when it comes to Bitcoin, but for crypto in general behind the scenes, on for the bigger players and those also involved in legislation and at the federal government level for where crypto could potentially head next. And then you've got Bitcoin as a big pillar and a main focus for regulators for people in Congress. And then, of course, this administration. I know that many have been disappointed in them not accumulating Bitcoin for the reserve, but I can tell you right now that you and I and many people know that there's much larger implications and plans at play here for Bitcoin and crypto assets.
I just want to say that honestly, you know what I've been the most disappointed with, Landy?
What's up?
So, I'm not going to obviously. I've been holding Ethereum. I don't spend Ethereum. I just hold it. Been holding it for a long time.
Yeah,
But
I have
like,
quite a bit myself.
but I'm like disappointed with it. No, I'm being dead serious. I'm disappointed with Ethereum. I thought Ethereum would do. I thought Ethereum would have cracked $10,000. I said it. I came on to the show multiple times. I've tweeted about it. That $10,000 bare minimum should be Ethereum, and it still could happen. But I thought it would have already happened, and I've now. So where I usually continue to buy Ethereum, I've shifted. I've shifted to buying Monero.
Well,
I really have done that. I have done a shift.
Uh,
I'm telling like
but
I've
what's
my
here?
Ethereum's there. Can God bless, and anything that I have Ethereum in, like memes, for instance, that's great. More. And I gotta say this: like, there have been so many good people that have gone into memes, by the way, and have become multimillionaires. So when people say that memes are worthless, tell that to the person who changed their entire life. Now you can call it gambling, you can call it whatever you want, but at the end of the day, there are people that have changed their lives. Now I know Landy could strike back and say, yeah, they changed their lives. Some of them are homeless now, living under a bridge. I understand. Landy can go that way too. I just know a lot of people that did come into the industry, went into memes, and they knew when to take out because when you first come in, I want to say this: when you first come into this industry, if you usually get in through memes, like it's not Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana are not going to be your first thing that you get into as a retail consumer because you want to strike big. You don't feel like psychologically you don't feel anything if you hold one Bitcoin. It's the truth, Landy. We know what one Bitcoin means to hold. People who don't understand Bitcoin are looking for a lot of tokens, not just one coin. Like that's just psychological. It's a psychological thing. Like
Yeah.
people, you can have 10 billion tokens that are meaningless, but you see 10 billion when you open up your wallet. You're like, I got 10 billion of XYZ. What I want to say here is that memes, most people who are successful in memes transition to Bitcoin and they stay there and they slowly go away from memes, but they participate in the memes to make money to get more Bitcoin. When they finally realize, okay, I'm going to play this game of I'm gonna trade here, get as much money as I can, get Bitcoin and whatever else it is to go ahead and get. So
Well,
when people shit on memes, I'm like, bro, like multi-millionaires have been made in the meme economy. If you know how to play memes, if you know, like what I was alluding to is when people come into this industry, some of them have never made more than $50,000 in their lives or in a year. So when they get $50,000 after like a week or two by trading some sort of meme, they know when to pull out because they want that money.
well,
But there are people that have been here for a long time that the reason why they don't pull out, pause, the reason why they don't pull out, though, pull out game is horrific in this industry. So I can only tell how. Anyway, the reason why they don't pull out is because $1,000 doesn't mean anything to them no more. Do you understand where I'm going with this? Like,
yeah.
when they first came in, $1,000 was holy shit. $1,000. $1,000 is like, man, what is $1,000? Even $10,000 is meaningless to a lot of people. They're like, no, they consistently keep on going for the home run. And that's where they destroy themselves. Most people in this industry, I would say it's a high percentage, destroy themselves because $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a day is meaningless to them. They're seeking a home run. I'm talking about a 540-foot home run. That's what they're looking for. That's why they're broke. And that's why they blame every single individual in this space for their failures. But go ahead, Landy.
I think a lot of the problem is that there many people enter Bitcoin or crypto or meme coins, just pick any kind of investment asset. Um, they enter with no plan. They literally YOLO. They're just like, whatever. And then, many who are new get in towards the top of cycles, right? Whether that be the meme coin cycle or whether that be Bitcoin cycle or whether that be market cycles in traditional markets, many retail come in without a plan. They come in because there's a lot of excitement and news events surrounding this stuff, and they get absolutely wrecked. And they don't have a plan. Therefore, when everything goes down, they end up, essentially they buy the top, sell the bottom, and it's a lot of people point to psychology. I point to just lack of a plan, lack of a structured plan for how you're actually going to get in. And for those who are attempting, who look at Bitcoin and then go, it's not as attractive because the potential upside isn't enough for me. And I want so much more out of this. So I'm going to go over here and then I'll buy my Bitcoin later, but they still don't go in with a plan. That's not a plan. That's a thesis or an idea of how you're going to outrun Bitcoin to get more Bitcoin, but many aren't able to execute on that because they don't have a plan. They might even be in a really good position and then just round trip it because they don't even have a plan for taking profits.
Yeah. Most don't have a plan at all, though, for taking profits. Because the
Yep.
greed kicks in. And it's not
Yeah.
because
It'll
the
never
person
stop. The FOMO. It'll never stop.
everybody's greedy. Like every human being has the greed DNA in them. What I mean by that is like there is a part of you that says like it can go higher. That's what I mean by that.
Mhm.
And so like people are like, you know what, I'm not gonna take out right here because I know it's gonna go higher. You don't know that.
And
You
then there's
you need to tell
psychological
yourself
bag bias.
as soon as you feel like it's going, as soon as you get that feeling that it's going to go higher, that's the time to take out. That is your guardian angel telling you, bro, screaming into your ear, get out.
Well,
I really do believe that.
I think that, uh, and this is actually where I agreed with Mr. Joe the other day, yesterday, and that is that if you're in something like Bitcoin, you don't get out, you don't sell your
That's
long-term holdings,
Bitcoin, though.
right?
That's Bitcoin.
Yes, that's Bitcoin, and that for some people that can also be other cryptocurrencies, right? There's a lot of people that are in Monero that feel that way. There's a lot of people in Ethereum that feel that way, and the huddle mentality for most people is going to work, but the problem is that people who get in at the highs and even if they say, oh no, I'm going to keep accumulating, often if they're new, do not understand that when if they bought at the highs, what that feels like to watch 50 to 70% of your portfolio on paper get wiped out, right? And they
Yeah.
get scared that, "Oh my god, I made a horrible decision," or maybe they needed the money, right? And so they don't have a choice because they took a bet that it was gonna go much, much higher without any information. They didn't really, study what was going on in the space. They end up buying the top. They thought it was gonna go much higher and they could pay some bills, right? And then they just don't have, but if you're here for the longer term, you come in with a plan for the longer term. And realistically, I don't disagree with those that say just buy and just keep DCAing, because I don't disagree with that. In terms of portfolio performance, it can take a long time, especially depending on when you're buying, for that to actually come to fruition. But if you believe in something like Bitcoin, or you believe that it is whatever your favorite token is going to be the future, then you just keep accumulating no matter what. Um, and I really do for me, I put Bitcoin in a completely different class. There's Bitcoin and then there's cryptocurrencies. Now there's people who vehemently disagree with me and hate my guts for saying that. But um and then the other
Because
question is, why do I
it's
trade?
explained wrong. It's not. Every Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. It's just
Blockchain.
Bitcoin has left the bubble,
It's a
and I
time
think
chain.
I think if this is where I get a little bit pissed off with the whole Bitcoin maxi thing, where there's Bitcoin and this cryptocurrency. Like, explain it, because then you confuse the general public, because the general public has already studied Bitcoin and it says that it's a cryptocurrency. Yeah, we have people going on mainstream media saying it's not a cryptocurrency. No, it is a cryptocurrency. It just happens to be obviously the best thing that has ever been, well, generation, from a generational standpoint, it's as an asset, it's the best, one of the best assets ever created. Just explain it correctly. It's a cryptocurrency, but it's not. It's not what you're. It's not coming off a pump fun. Like, like, just explain the motherfucker, bro. That's all
Well,
I ask.
I think that there has been a lot of very poor
I had a
representatives of
person, Landy, I
Bitcoin.
had a person that came up to me and asked me, after watching Fox Business, somebody came on there, I won't say their name. They said, there's Bitcoin and there's cryptocurrency. And they were so fucking confused
Mhm.
that they asked me, David, what? I don't understand. I thought Bitcoin was a crypto. And I said, it is. It's just,
It's a classification of cryptocurrencies, and the reason that you'll get many that separate it is because of the way that the wider market views it and the way that the regulatory bodies view it, right? Because it's a proof of work network, it's one of the largest. It is the largest proof of work network in the world, and because of the way that the blockchain is constructed and the way that the reward being Bitcoin is distributed. They there's nuance there in terms of what is cryptocurrency versus Bitcoin. Like, when we think of cryptocurrencies, a lot of people think of what Ethereum now is, right? And it's a completely different type of blockchain.
I think
Um,
Ethereum made a mistake. Like, we already talked about this. I think Ethereum made a mistake, obviously, going to POS. I really do believe that. And I think that decision was just made because of everything that was happening during the Biden administration. I don't think they would have switched if it was all under Trump. They still
from
wouldn't. It
from
would have been
a
proof of work.
from a network monetary point of view, I think that they kind of had to save to save it. Look, because at that point we were seeing that, and I get what you're saying. You're 100% right. I think that if Trump had been in office at the time, much different view on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and everything else. But because of the way that Bitcoin was split off, um, I think that they recognized they weren't going to win that mind share race with
Yeah,
anyone
but it doesn't even matter.
in
Proof of
that
work.
administration.
You rather have proof of work over proof of stake. I don't know.
Well,
Listen, a
they
lot of
serve 2
people
different
love proof of
purposes.
stake. A lot of people love proof of work. I'm a proof. I like the POW. I don't
Well,
know.
I
I'm
do
just a
too, but
POW guy.
they serve 2 very different purposes, right?
Understandable.
And
Maybe it works out. Maybe it works out for them being on POS. I don't know.
you mentioned Ethereum just a moment ago, and you were disappointed in the performance, the price performance, right? That's you were disappointed in the price performance.
Well, look. It's ever since they moved to POS. Look, the price hasn't
It's
really done
been
anything.
well, exactly. And but also you have to take into consideration that the competition has become much more fierce for those
That's their
dollars coming
fault,
in.
though.
I know,
That
I
is
know.
fucking Ethereum's fault.
I get it. I get it.
And now they
I'm
don't know how they
100% there
fucking
with
get
you.
out of it. Just, you know what they need to Vitalik, I'm gonna tell you where Vitalik fails, okay? You know why? So look what Solana's doing right now. I don't give a fuck how if people hate it. Like, I don't care. I was somebody who was very critical of Solana, but I gotta tip my hat to them. They seen the opportunity in the meme economy. They took that opportunity to get mind share there, and then now they're being extremely serious, and they're doing business with institutions, and institutions are building on top of them now. And
Yeah.
they're slowly going to go away. They're not going to forget. I don't think they forget about the meme economy, but those are their future clients. A
Well,
lot of these clients that are in memes,
because
remember,
Hyperliquid proved it out.
the people that are in memes right now will grow out of the meme phase. They will start buying, they will stop buying shit that comes off of pump.fun and they will start taking their money and buying Bitcoin. They'll buy Ethereum, they'll buy Solana, they'll buy things of
Well,
more value
here's
that actually serve or have some sort of a use case. I'm telling you.
but what you got to you understand this. I understand this. What we had with Ethereum moving to proof of stake was um, a stagnation of innovation, right? And then when you're building this layer cake chain, and people can just spin up another layer, you're cannibalizing the base layer. And we've talked about this right at the very beginning, when the switchover happened, and I said it's not a good idea. Great, we get cool L2s. That's great, but this isn't necessarily good for the base chain. And
It's
then you've
not.
got you've got chains like Hyperliquid that get built out and then become EVM compatible chains. So now you could just bridge over there. We're doing innovative stuff over there. You've
Yeah.
got the meme narrative never really got rolling. It started on Ethereum, but never got rolling to speed there because Solana was like, yeah, hey, we can do this in a much more innovative and faster way. And we've got, really addictive product over here. Let's roll
And
with
real
that.
quick, Landy, I just want to tell you the volatility in Solana, in my humble opinion, is all due to the fact that Solana's token price is at $83 or $84 right now. If Solana's token price was at $1,000 to $1,200, you wouldn't see this type of volatility. You would see more holders within that meme economy that they have versus what you have right now. I believe that.
Maybe I don't I can't really say one way or another with that, but what I can say pretty definitively is this: what we had was a lot of Ethereum builders jump ship. They jumped ship
Well,
to
look at REKT.
Solana.
REKT left Ethereum
Yeah.
right now. That's it. They are officially, as of 1 p.m. Their Bobo is now on Solana.
Well, a lot of ETH guys, a lot of OGs, a lot of builders, more importantly, a lot of builders left Ethereum. They went to Solana and they went to Hyperliquid. Now, granted, Hyperliquid came later, on in that cycle for the bull market, but that's where a lot of people went. And when you have that attrition of builders, and you're losing steam and in terms of product being built, you're naturally going to see the kind of price action that we saw with Ethereum, with just making slightly newer all-time highs. But this isn't unique to Ethereum. Almost all of the altcoins made only slightly newer all-time highs, if they even made newer all-time highs.
The 7 or 8 altcoins made all-time highs, and that's it. So we still haven't had an altcoin season. What is it? Probably 4.5 years. Still haven't, maybe more than that. Still haven't had an altcoin season. The 6 or 7 that did run really doesn't count. So you have that. Ethereum has performed poorly, and maybe everything's contingent on Ethereum performing great in order for everything else to send.
I actually I am my thesis is this, and I've talked to you about this. I talked to you about this at the time. And that is that we will not see the altcoin seasons of old anymore. We just won't.
We
There's
don't know
too
that. We don't know
I
that.
I this is my thesis,
No, but
was
I'll tell
what
you
I'm
why.
explaining.
I know what your thesis is, and I'm gonna tell you why you might be wrong. Because a lot of people, what are we? We're only 7-8% in terms of people being in crypto. A lot of people are going to feel like they miss Bitcoin. People already feel that way in general, and they will head into the altcoin market. That's why I
And
believe like
where's their
the
entry
chance-
point gonna be, David? Do you think it's gonna be them actually going, getting on a platform to get involved in alts, or getting a hot wallet to get involved in alts? Or do you think that it's going to be TradFi repackaging of altcoin product is how
I
they're
don't.
gonna get exposure?
I really don't think. I honestly, I had some time to think about this because I agreed with you.
Mhm.
I feel that once retail comes back in here, because retail has been broke, and I don't know, I'm gonna keep on saying this. right now we're all participating with ourselves. People who have stayed here through the bull and the bear, like we're just the money's just going all around and around and around in circles. Okay, like one day you'll have 50 grand, and the next day you'll lose it to somebody else on a hand. That's how I really feel, man.
Well,
When retail comes in here, they're not going to Bitcoin. They're not. They're going to look for. You know why? I don't agree with Warren Buffett on a lot of things, especially crypto. But Warren Buffett said that this current era, uh, the society we live in now, it has more of a gambler's mentality than he's ever seen.
he's
And I
right.
agree with that. And I think retail is going to come in here, and like a lot of people like to say, memes are for gambling. I don't believe that, but okay. I think tickers are, but I don't think like the real memes are. But whatever it is, or altcoins, people are going to jump there because they're really bottomed. People will jump in there and take a chance versus going into Bitcoin or Ethereum or maybe Solana. I just that's what I think. Well, is going to happen.
Well,
That's why I still believe there might be an altcoin season.
when we're talking about the trillions of dollars that are eventually going to
You're
make
talking
their
about a
way,
2021 run. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, okay. Well, two parts here. When I look at the alt seasons of old, they were a rotation. Their rotation from Bitcoin to altcoins, and then back into Bitcoin after it went down, right? This was the game that was being played for a very long time. There was far less altcoins. We didn't really have meme coins. We had a couple. And there wasn't as fierce competition on the product side for alts that were and are, I think, still very exciting. And now when you look at the bulk of the capital inflows that are going to be coming into crypto in general, it's going to be coming from traditional market players because, to your point, retail is by and large broke. And I want to make this point again. Retail has been through multiple choke point 1.0, 2.0, and now 3.0 we're in the middle of. And this is where they've been burned, and they got severely burned last cycle to a degree that we had not seen before on every single aspect, whether they were in traditional products and that were considered safe by, and pitched by the media, whether you're looking at Celsius, BlockFi, all of that kind of stuff, Voyager and all the rest. And then you had, your crypto.coms, you had your FTX, you had all of these different things that were being pushed en masse in a huge effort right out to retail. And they got involved and got absolutely burned to the ground. And now, this past bull market, they sat on the sidelines by and large. It was a lot of people, you get some that filter in here and there, but it by and large absolutely sat on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And now you have traditional market players have gotten product into portfolios already through the spot ETFs. There's more products coming. There's DATs all over the place. You've got a very different market, and now you're going to get the regular banking system is going to be involved as well. And what are they going to focus on? They're going to focus on the majors. And how are they going to get people in? Is through productization. That's where most of the money is going to come from. But the majority
You're
is
talking about the wrong
hold on.
retail, though.
No, the retail is not coming back. I'm going to tell you that right now. You want to know why? Because most of the liquidity that's coming into this space is going to be paired liquidity with stock tokens and RWAs. All of that liquidity is going to suck the air out of the room because TradFi is going to tokenize their products. They're going to provide liquidity to those products with deals with Tether, USDC, or their own stablecoin issuance to provide liquidity. And people are going to go where the liquidity is. And that's where retail will gravitate towards. And that's what's going to be put in people's portfolios. I just don't see a way in which we get I'm not saying that there's not going to be new all-time highs for altcoins. What I'm saying is we will not see the types of altcoin rotations that we have seen in the past because the market is growing. I do know that. I can tell you right now, the math doesn't math.
Okay. We don't know what happens.
I'm not
Again,
just speculating.
right now we have a bunch of retail is sidelined, period. Some people gave up on this shit, and I understand where you're coming from with the products that come from institutionals. Like
You know how much money is gonna come in from 401ks?
I get that. Those people would never sign up to Coinbase and create or create a wallet. Like the people that you're speaking of would never come in. They would have never been in here in 2021.
I disagree.
No, I don't.
A
You
lot of
can't
working
disagree
class
because
people with
the people that you're
401ks
talking
got
about
involved
actually
last
have a
cycle.
job and they work. Like you're talking about the wrong people.
No, I'm not.
You
Because there
are
was
because the
regular
people that were
working
here for
class people every
the,
day that were coming into
the
crypto
people
in
in
2021.
2021 weren't really wealthy. They
They were working class.
Roaring Kitty was the catalyst for what happened, was one of the major catalysts for what happened in 2021. Whether people want to give him a credit or not, he was a
2020, but
major catalyst besides all the printing and the 0% that we had at the time. Okay? That is real. We haven't had that. How can we say for sure that all this is not going to happen when we haven't had any of the stuff that happened in 2021 happen
because
now?
look at the actual sentiment and view of crypto as a space from the retail perspective. They've been
Retail
beaten
is
to
always,
shit
but that's like saying like
for
people are not
years.
going to play the lottery, bro,
That's
because they're
great for meme
frustrated because they
coins.
never won the lottery. Like
Okay, but if
people still
serious
go and play the
investments,
lottery
they
and
want
scratch
protection.
offs.
They want protection for their serious investments because they put money in and got
You're
wrecked
talking about the
already a
wrong
few times over.
retail.
No, I'm
Uh,
not. We're talking
Okay,
about the same people. These are working
no,
class
no.
people.
I've never heard retail. I've never heard retail that has been here talk about regulation. The only time regulation ever comes up is when they fucking lose on like 9 straight plays.
Okay. What's your point though?
Meaning, here's my point. Like people that have money, they're going to take a chance by going into the altcoin market, and it will not be through institutional fucking packages. They will go into
Okay.
altcoins by opening up a wallet and buying it off a fucking Uniswap or some fucking DEX. I'm telling you. We haven't had retail here. Like,
Why do that if
can
you
we
got
hold
like
on? Can we agree? Has
250K?
retail come back in?
No, and they're not going to. That's my
But
point.
you can't say that for sure.
Yes, I can. The numbers bear
Okay.
out. When do you see that trend shifting then? What is the catalyst to shift that trend in retail's mind?
A good economy
Okay. What does
and
that good economy
a
look like?
stimulus check.
What does a good economy look like?
You know what a good economy looks like.
No, because
Private sector
wages
jobs, not government jobs.
okay, well, wages are not keeping up, and we would need to see wages keep up, and
Okay.
we need to see disposable income increase,
Okay.
and we are not on that
Okay.
path anytime soon.
And Trump is all for free. Trump's biggest thing is that he wants Americans to participate in the markets, correct?
Yes, but this takes years to work its way through the
Correct.
system.
But I'm asking you a
Many
question.
years.
He wants retail,
Sure.
people, Americans, ordinary Americans, okay? Blue collar Americans, he wants them participating in the markets, correct?
Sure, yeah, that's why they launched the IRA stuff,
Okay.
that they just launched so that people
I'm
can
telling you right
participate.
now, people are going to want to rally behind a movement where it has nothing to do with institutional players and fucking VCs.
I wish
You could
that the
disagree with me
actual
all you want,
numbers
but I'm
bear out
telling
that
you,
way, David.
no, you're not hearing me out, okay?
I
You
am,
think
I
I
am.
don't think that the VCs are in any of these plays. I'm just telling you right now that people want to get into, most people would want to get into something that is for the people
Okay,
rather than something that was created by the
I get it,
institutions and stuck on
but
them.
they
Like,
also want the protection. They
no,
want the
come
safety.
on.
They do.
Okay.
We are in an environment. What if they didn't, they would have come back
Have you read the
already.
timeline? Have you actually read the fucking Twitter timeline, Landy?
Yeah, it's full of shit.
You think these people want protection?
You're looking at a
I'm not against.
microcosm
Hold
of a
on. Let me make this
microcosm.
very clear. I'm not against it, but it goes against the thesis. The whole everything about it goes against everything that crypto is all about.
Okay.
You're gonna tell me that I'm
Everyone on
wrong?
the timeline is excited about institutions.
Yeah, the people that ran
These
people
market
who
sector
front
leaders
run
are excited about
who fr-
institutions. Go look at it.
Landy, the only people that are excited about institutions being here and the liquidity that they can provide are people that front ran the market.
Okay.
Nobody who has nothing to their name is going to be excited about institutions. It's only going to be people, you could say like us, that are
Anytime
fine with
price goes up,
institution liquidity.
anytime price goes up, what do you see? Headlines all over crypto about which institution bought or which major player in the game bought. Right?
Yeah, because the institutions own mainstream media. Institutions were putting out fucking narratives
But we're the
destroying
news now on
crypto.
X. We're the news, aren't we? Aren't we the
Now
news on X?
we are the news because we should have been the news. We should have been the news. You're getting me all fucking hyped up. Yo, Landy, hear me out, man.
I hear you. I
Only
vehemently
people
disagree.
who front ran this entire thing are happy that liquidity's coming in.
Okay. Whose liquidity is coming in?
Okay.
Institutional liquidity, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, not retail liquidity.
Oh my god, retail wants to deal with retail. They don't want to deal with institutions, bro. Like
No,
the only retail that you're
completely
talking
false.
about are the people that hung in here, bear and bull, stayed here, accumulated DCA'd, and now
Smaller and
can just
smaller
sit back and wait
cohort.
as these motherfuckers send it.
David, you and I both know that that is a increasingly smaller and smaller cohort of people are OGs in this space. It is institutions. If you're looking at retail coming back
I
en
wish I
masse,
drank alcohol, and I wish this was alcohol.
for retail to come back, they're going to go where the liquidity goes, right? If the meme coin's got liquidity and it's running, you think they're going to go for it? Yes. But you know what's coming online already, and you already said it yourself. What is Solana shifting towards? They're shifting towards servicing, towards
I
and
get it.
productization towards
I get
institutions,
it. You're not
stock
hearing
tokens,
me
and
out.
RWAs. I am hearing you out.
You're not. You
Yes,
want
I
to
am.
fight. Okay?
No, I'm not trying to
You're
fight.
like a chick, bro. You just want to fight.
I don't want to fight. I'm not fighting with you.
You
I'm
are.
disagreeing.
You just want to have an argument. I'm
No,
not
I'm
Rob.
disagreeing.
Okay? Wait for Friday.
Look, first off,
Do you
you
hear the words coming out my mouth?
first of all, last week you tried to tell me that Monero was what Bitcoiners really wanted in the beginning. This week,
Hold. See, you see how this motherfucker twists his words? Do you see how he twists my words around? I said that I have people that are saying Monero is what they wish that Bitcoin was. That's it. You took it personally.
no, I didn't. I just said that's
You
not true.
did take it personally. You
How can
had
I
your
take it
panties in
personally?
a bunch, man. Your
I
thumb
literally
was all
own
up your
them.
ass. You were mad as fuck over nothing.
I wasn't mad about anything.
You
I
were
was just simply
mad.
telling you that that's patently wrong.
Well, I was telling you that people want privacy. You went into an argument about, but off ramp and on ramp, nobody's talking about that.
Cool.
I'm telling you that people just don't want people knowing how much money they have. And they feel like they want privacy. You're sitting here, but nobody really has privacy because when you're on and off ramp, like we get it. You on and off ramp with your bank too, man. Like at the end of the day, people just want privacy.
Yeah,
That's all I was trying to tell you. That's all that people were saying.
that's not what you started with.
Yes, I did replay the fucking show.
No, you started with if you said what Charles's argument was is that Monero is what Bitcoin should have
Oh
been.
my god,
And
I
I
can't.
said,
I
no,
want to
that's
fucking
what you said.
I just want to
So when
stab
you
my
start a
balls, bro. Like,
conversation there And then look,
This
this
is such bullshit, bro.
no, it's not.
Are you even listening to me when you come on this show?
Yeah,
No,
and
you're
I'm here
not.
to tell
You're
you,
probably on 9 different fucking spaces listening to some
I'm not.
other shit being talked
I'm
about.
just reading the TikTok chat right now.
You know, I don't give a fuck what you're reading, honestly. Guys, you can tune into Landy tonight as he fucking gets on somebody else's fucking nerves. Okay, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Just
The
remember,
market update.
retail, it's coming.
I'm telling you, man. Like, okay, no problem. Yo, I have
I
Peter Schiff
didn't
coming
say
on.
that we won't see. Listen to me, David, and you know this. I'm not saying that we're not going to see new all-time highs for majors. I'm saying that we will not. Please understand this and internalize this as
You're
the
not
audience
listening to what
as
I'm
well.
saying. You're not. You said it yourself. You're
What?
not. You said this shit yourself.
What's
You
that?
don't even remember what the fuck you said
Yes,
9
I
months
do.
ago.
Yes, I said that they'll come into meme coins.
No, no,
We'll
no.
see meme coins
What did
run
you
with
say?
Bitcoin.
What did you say meme coins are to retail?
What do you mean? Meme
Think
coins to
hard.
retail? Are
You
you
made a
talking?
very good fucking statement, and you don't even fucking remember it.
Well, I have a lot of statements that I talk about with meme coins.
No.
So which one of
Usually
them
you're
do you
not
want
really
from me?
fucking good with your Fuck you with wishing bad on memes,
I
okay?
didn't wish bad on
You
memes either.
did. You
No, I
absolutely
didn't.
did. You fucking
When?
cursed the meme economy. I just wanted to
I
let you
did
fucking
not.
know that.
Just because I
Okay?
called the top on it?
You
Really?
didn't call shit. Fuck you.
Yes, I did.
Listen,
I got the
Landy,
recordings.
you said that memes are a way for retail to point the middle finger at institutions. You don't remember that?
I've always said that, but that was during a very specific time frame in which they were trying to classify all crypto as securities.
7%. Okay. By the way, I just want to let everybody know there are two options on Twitter when we live stream. There is a live chat option, and then you can comment. Landy,
Oh,
I figured this out.
yeah.
People are commenting rather than live chatting.
It's not clear. Yeah, when you're on mobile, yeah, it's not clear.
Shout out to the product developers. Bro, you think we got the people's IQ here is fucking 3. You gotta make it
Landy sent me
easier.
our gateway drug.
Oh my god.
Look, I don't disagree that memes in their conception and their utilization in the beginning was a giant double middle finger to
They
the
still are, because it's the only way
How?
retail can get into something.
No, it's not.
Yes, retail is priced okay. Landy,
There's multiple.
how many
vectors.
Americans
David, you
have
know there's
fucking
multiple vectors.
$80,000 to their name? Go ahead, tell me.
Wait, what?
Go ahead.
I'm not talking about go and buy a Bitcoin. This is not a
No,
Bitcoin versus
no, forget
everything else.
about forget about even buying fractions of a Bitcoin. I'm asking you, how many Americans have even 50 grand to their name?
Oh, we're talking about are you talking about savings? Very low number. Most people don't even have enough. They don't even have $2,000 in the bank.
Would you say that most Americans are willing to gamble?
I would say that there is a large percentage that already are through
So
prediction
if
markets, through gambling apps, sports
correct,
apps,
you
and
can see by the volume, right?
well, the volume pales in comparison to anything in finance, but
No, I'm just saying you can see by the volume when it comes to gambling.
it's big. It's a big sector. It's a big market
Correct.
sector. Yes.
So, and that's not just prediction markets. We're talking about DraftKings, whatever. We can name it all out, right? OTB, Scratchos, Lottery. You put that on. There are people that are gamblers, okay? They won't admit that either, but there are people that are willing to gamble. I am telling you, when the market recovers a little bit more, they will be willing to gamble in this space rather than buying a fraction of a Bitcoin. Now, if
I
you're going
never
to
said
ask
that
me
they
what's the
wouldn't.
better move, I will tell you the better move is
David, I
getting
don't
Bitcoin.
disagree with you. This is where okay.
can't.
Fundamentally, you are misunderstanding what I'm saying. From a fundamental point of view, and I'm being honest with you, David. Like no jokes. I think you are
I'm not joking. Do
fundamentally
you see me joking around here? Like, I don't know. Like,
okay. Well, let me illustrate something to you. I think that most people, regular retail, whether they know it or not, will be utilizing cryptocurrency and blockchain, right? whether they are involved through an application they're downloading for, their favorite app store or whatever app store for whatever phone they're using, or they're logging on to get involved in prediction markets, they're going to be using cryptocurrencies. They're going to be holding them and using them to do exactly that. You're going to see a larger portion of people will come into meme coins. My point is that because we have because of how much liquidity is coming into this space and where it's going, we don't have enough, in my opinion, to see the types of altcoin seasons that we saw of yesteryear. That is my point. It is not that we
You're
are
not hearing me. I swear to God, it's like whatever I say is just going over your head.
no, I'm telling you my position.
Okay.
That is what I am saying. I am saying that we are not going to see the all pumps and the massive rotations that we've seen prior, because we have so much product here and we have so much stuff that's people's attentions get split, right? You would agree that people move from one narrative to another, but also people's attention gets split. So you've got meme coins, you've got altcoins, you've got prediction markets, you've got every single vector, and then you're going to have all of the traditional market products that are coming on chain. You now have a smorgasbord of different assets that are on chain. And there's only so much that retail can focus on. And I don't see that all going into everything to the point where we get the types of alt seasons that we've seen of alt. That is my contention. That's my position. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what you are saying then.
You are misunderstanding what I'm saying. Big time. I love you. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Landy, if you didn't have Bitcoin and all these other assets, where would your first move be?
What if I didn't have Bitcoin and these other assets?
I will even give you an example. In 2016, people went into XRP rather than Bitcoin. Why?
Well, they were sold on XRP in the narrative at the time.
No.
Yes, they were. They weren't just going in
No.
because number go up.
No. It was the cheapest. It was a cheaper option on Coinbase.
No, this is where we disagree.
No, but that I am telling you, I remember getting phone calls from friends, and I would say get Bitcoin, and they would say, "I'll go with the cheaper option." They were going into XRP. They were going into Stellar.
It wasn't just because it was cheap. It's because
it was cheaper. I'm telling you, from a psychological standpoint, it was cheaper. I'm not saying they didn't fall in love afterwards with the whole Brad Garlinghouse, banking system.
No, they fell in love in the beginning. That's why they went for it, David.
No, they didn't. There are a lot of people that got into XRP due to the fact that it was cheaper and that people believed that it could pull a move like Bitcoin did. I remember this to the
T. It was cheaper, but it was not simply because they had a narrative lock on social media.
Randy, the narrative at that time was all about fast. It was all about fast. Nobody talked about cross-border payments. Okay, I'm telling you exactly what I was in that crowd.
I was here.
Okay, I was here also. I'm just saying. I remember being in the crowd of XRP Army members and them saying when they would get in, they got in because it was cheaper and it's a better option than Bitcoin. And I would sit back and I was like, this is where we got into fights. Not me and you. I'm talking about XRP members and me. I'm like, guys, this is not Bitcoin, respectfully.
But it wasn't just solely because of the price. It was because of the fundamental differences between
you got the chat telling you you're wrong.
These are people that wanted to just because you know he says it's cheaper, like I don't know that.
No, they're not telling you you're wrong because you're not smart. We know you're smart. They're telling you you're wrong because they went into it because it was cheaper and they were told it was the better option when
they
it
were
came
told
to Bitcoin.
It was the better option because it had more potential to be adopted, is what they were told.
That's and it can do more X's. Like,
it wasn't just simply X's. That was you
guys
in your little echo
You
chamber.
think people give a hold on, Linda, you actually think people give a fuck about adoption? Me and you are talking. We care about all this stuff. You think people actually go into something they're like, oh yeah, this
it was about the potential.
Oh, you know what? XRP, Ripple, yeah, fixes what Swift can't fix. You think that's how
they think it was going to do the X's, David? Why was it going to do the
I'm
X's?
telling you that 99% of the people that got into XRP for pennies were not talking about how it can solve the shit that's going on in the banking industry and how it
Why
does
were they-
cross-border payments and ISO. They didn't even know
Why did
anything.
they have any inkling of it actually moving to the upside?
Bro,
What
it was all about price. Okay, Landy,
just
I'm
because
going to
something's
this.
low price
They
doesn't
got
mean
into
it's gonna
XRP
move.
because of price. They didn't get into it because it was replacing
Okay,
Swift
David,
or it was better
explain
than
this to me.
Swift.
Explain this to me. How did they know that it was going to move, or what made them think it was going to move to the upside? Because there was a lot of low
Because
price
people,
crypto.
this is where I'm talking about gambling.
Wasn't purely gambling.
Oh yeah, people were going onto Coinbase, and when they saw $3,000, $4,000 Bitcoin, they're like, no, I'm not going into this. I'm not spending $3,000, $4,000 on one coin. I'll go into XRP where I get a lot of tokens.
Cheddar said it correctly, and that's what I'm getting at. It's narrative plus low price. It was narrative and low price.
I
If it
just
didn't have a
told you they
narrative,
were getting in because of low price.
I told you it wasn't just the low price. It was because of the
It
narrative.
was.
There was a
That's
lot
a
of low
main
price
factor.
crypto.
People buy things. People just buy things in general due to lower
Why do
prices.
they buy memes, David? Why do people
What?
buy memes? Because of what? Just because they're low
Because
price?
the expectation of making a 500x versus making a 2x and
Okay.
having more of something
So it's
than
just
less
price.
of something, though that less of something is more valuable.
It's just because of price then?
If you think that most people, I get into memes because I love meme culture, but if you think most people are like me, you're fucking kidding yourself. If
Are
you
they
think they're
just
getting
getting
it
in because
because
of price?
of just the meme.
Are they getting in just because of price? Because it's a low price? There's a lot of memes
Of
going on.
course they are.
Oh, okay. So, then what's the
Wait, they can't. I'll prove your point wrong right now.
Go ahead.
If the market cap is higher than 20K on a meme, people will refuse to get in. They will wait for the next meme to come out so they have a chance to get in under 20K. Yes, Landy, it's all about numbers.
What's the ingredient that you need for a meme to be successful? Just a low
They
price?
don't care. People, some of these retail players, they don't give a fuck what the
That
ingredient
theory,
is.
they could all be multi-billion-dollar market caps then. Because
I
if they're
swear.
just getting in for price, no, they get in because it's price plus narrative.
I'm
It
not
wasn't
saying that
just
the
because
narrative
of the
doesn't
low
have anything
price.
to do with it. Narrative comes second. Price comes first.
I didn't say I did not say when
I've been
people were being
for the last
introduced,
20
they
minutes.
didn't
I'm
just
telling you
get
that it's all about price.
It's not all about price because how did they even hear about XRP in the first
I
place? They
can't.
didn't hear XRP
Because they
low
went
price
onto
crypto.
they went onto Coinbase, they went onto Binance, and XRP was worth
Not the
nothing.
mass majority of people. They heard
That
about
the
XRP
mass
was gonna
majority
change
of
the world,
people went
and then they went and got
into.
it.
I'm telling you, you are so fucking wrong on this,
No,
man.
I'm not. I was
You
there.
are. You are talking. Never mind. You're wrong on this. You're absolute. People were not going in. They didn't even know what XRPL was. They didn't know Ripple and that they knew nothing. Nothing about they knew nothing.
They knew the name.
They knew the name because people were talking about how cheaper of an
went
asset it
looking for
is. Landy, oh my God, they were talking about how cheap it is.
Because they knew the name in the
And
first
it could
place. It wasn't just
potentially
price being
could-
cheap.
I can't.
It's a
I'm
chicken and
telling-
egg.
I'm
If
telling
they
you.
didn't know about it, they would have never known it was a cheap price. And it
They
was
knew
because
about
they
it
had
because
an
people
army
were
of people
saying
pushing
it's
the
cheaper
narrative.
to get into and it could possibly do the same thing as Bitcoin. I remember these conversations in like whether it was in Clubhouse, whether
You're
it was in
talking about something
Spaces.
completely different.
Landy, people want a lot of supply, okay? They don't want a little of supply.
that.
They want a lot of supply, okay? Bottom line, because they want to get a 500x. I'm not looking for a 1x or 2x. That's it. They came here because their friend Johnny or Billy, they got rich in 3 days. They're driving a Beamer after driving an MTA bus. And here they are. They're rich as fuck. They're wearing Montclair jackets, Shirlings and shit, Ferragamo shoes, and they're like, you know what? Let me get in. Tell me what's the hottest meme right now. Tell me which altcoin I need to go into. What's going to be the next Bitcoin? That's how they talk. Go look it up. Go search that up right now. Go search up what is the next Bitcoin on X, and guarantee you, watch what happens.
Sure. Then why isn't
You're
everybody getting
talking
into
from a
low price
position
crypto?
of being early in Bitcoin.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I was early to XRP. I was
Oh
early
my
to all
God.
of
Yeah.
it.
I was early to XRP too, but guess what? Guess what? I went into XRP besides knowing, yes, I knew what they were going for, but that's only because when you're in this industry and you're reporting on it, you study it, right? But to me, like, I would have got into XRP if I heard, if I was new and I heard the chatter. Oh shit, this shit can go ahead and do the same.
Based on the potential.
Here,
for
I'm
it
gonna
to
give
go
you
up.
another. I'll give you another one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Pomp. After shilling Bitcoin, Pomp came out and tweeted, if you were happy with paraphrasing, if you were happy with Bitcoin, wait until you see what Ripple does.
Sure.
Do you want me to pull up the tweet?
What do I care about what he has to say? That's not
All
that
I'm
has no
saying
bearing on
is
the
it was
conversation, and field to
numbers.
authority doesn't matter to me.
He had a big account. When he comes out there saying, if you like what Bitcoin did, watch what XRP or Ripple does. He's talking about price. He's not talking about.
No, he's talking about potential appreciation in price because of the narrative. There was a lot of low price cryptos. There was a lot of networks at the same time. The reason that XRP captured that narrative is because there was potential and still is potential for that price to appreciate. You have a bunch of dead shit coins that were low price. Why didn't they move? They didn't move because
a lot of them moved. A lot of them moved. Okay, a lot of them did move.
They did not move like XRP moved. They didn't move like XRP moved.
Some of them moved like XRP moved.
And it's all based on the narrative potential for price to appreciate. It wasn't just purely
let me be frank here. What would you go into Chainlink at 20 cents?
I got into Chainlink very early.
Okay, I did too. Why'd you get into Chainlink?
I got into Chainlink because I knew we needed oracles.
Okay, great. I did too. But why did most other people get into Chainlink?
Why did you have the
please don't tell me you think that they were studying the market like we were. Please don't tell me that.
No, they were looking at the news of what was happening with Chainlink and what they were building, and that it was an opportunity at these entry prices.
Have the show. I'm leaving. You can have this show.
Oh, give me a break.
Let me ask you. Somebody brought up Neo. I brought up Neo so many times, right? Why did you go into Neo?
Me?
Why did most people go into Neo?
Neo is garbage.
It's garbage, but why did most people go into Neo?
Because I had a narrative at the time.
They thought it was the next Ethereum.
That was the narrative.
I'm just saying to you, the same thing was applied to XRP.
Narrative. Ah, yeah. Thank you for proving my point.
You're not listening.
Yes, I am.
Okay. They all went in because it was cheaper. The narrative.
Because it had a narrative and it was cheap, David.
The cheap was the narrative.
If it didn't have a narrative, no one would have bought it.
Oh my God. What are you talking? Have you watched these crackheads? What are you saying? That it didn't have none of these things have a narrative and they're going in. What are you talking about?
They have a narrative, otherwise people wouldn't even know to find them.
Oh my God. All right.
You're going to tell me that memes don't survive off of narrative?
You know what? I think you're just trying to get on my nerves.
No.
There's no way there is no way that you're saying this and you're being serious about it. Like, there's no fucking way.
It's not purely because of price. It has to have a combination of narrative and price.
People see numbers. This is like
no
fucking
shit, but if it doesn't have a narrative, they're not going to get in.
Okay. Landy, can I tell you something?
Know to get in.
I was a platform director, like 7 dealerships, bro. People, they didn't give a fuck how the car drove. What's the best price, bro?
How'd they even know to go to your dealership, David? Because
Come
there's a
on.
narrative built around
Come
it.
on.
It's
Come
called
on.
marketing.
You know what? I should have stayed as a finance director, platform director. What the fuck was I thinking coming here and then doing news here with you?
Because I'm the best at what I do.
You're wrong on this, though. Like, I don't understand.
I'm not wrong. It's that I have a different perspective that you don't like.
It's not. People tend to buy things because they're cheaper.
Cool. Why
Would
didn't
you
they
agree
buy all
or
the
no?
memes? Why didn't they buy all the memes off the lows and pump them to brand new all-time highs?
Because, like, what are we talking about? If we're talking about memes before Pump.Fun, they were doing that. If we're talking about memes and altcoins before Pump.Fun, they were doing that. People were buying the lows on these things, and then Pump.Fun came along, and people said, "You know what? I gotta get out of these things. They're never gonna make a comeback, and I gotta start making money because they over leveraged in
But
these
the
things."
meme category absolutely leveled up 10 times over in terms of its market cap when Pump Fund came in.
XRP, people went into it because it was cheap. Friends of mine called me, said it was a
That's
cheap play
XRP
for them.
Army. It was only because it was cheap.
It was
Wasn't because they
cheap, and
believed
then
in
they learned
anything.
about it, and then
Sure.
people went into XRP for the most part because it was cheaper than Bitcoin. And then when they learned about XRP, they became super insane about the goddamn product. And they've never let go of it
We're
since.
literally saying the same thing. You're talking about altcoins.
No, but I'm
that
telling
outrun
you, they
Bitcoin.
entered because of price.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
You're saying that there has to be a narrative before they
There
enter in,
does.
even if
It
the
just
price
can't
is
be
low.
purely be price.
That's true. That's not
No,
true.
because they would never hear about it just because it's sitting on an exchange and
People
they
heard
have
they heard about it because of Bitcoin. They heard about it because of CNBC
I didn't
promoting it.
disagree with you on any of that.
You've been disagreeing with me the
No,
whole
I have not.
time.
I'm telling you what my perspective is on it, and the fact of the matter is I was there as well. This entire time we've been talking about this. It's as what was the entire rotation? It was Bitcoin's getting really high priced. People who take profit in Bitcoin rotate into altcoins. You had a bunch of networks that were coming up. XRP is an old network, right? This had already been cooking for a long time. There was already a well-established narrative on what XRP was when it really started to hit the mainstream. People went in because it was lower price and that and Bitcoin was higher price. I'm not disagreeing with you with that. The fact of the matter is it was established with what the narrative was. There was already people out there marketing it. So when people went and said, "Oh my God, Bitcoin's at this price," they see XRP's at this price. Hey, I've heard this was good. Let me buy it. Let me go learn more about it. I'm not disagreeing with you there, but you have to have a combination of narrative and price performance is solely derived off of the potential, which is the narrative for that upside price performance versus Bitcoin. And I'm watching. There's still people who say, like, I'm not going to get into Bitcoin because I can buy way more of this and have potentially many more X's. Why? Why would you have potentially many more X's versus Bitcoin? Because you believe that it's going to appreciate faster because the narrative that's been built around the product. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm gonna agree to disagree with you.
What do you disagree with about that? Pick that apart. Pick what I just said apart because that's what I'm talking about.
Landy, I will say this again, and I believe this to be true because every single one of these sons of bitches has ever asked me about crypto, especially during that time, I would say 16. They were like, I don't want to spend $4,000 on Bitcoin. I'd rather spend money here with XRP because it's the cheaper option.
And why did they
And they
even
would buy
know
into
about
XRP
those
due to the
news?
price, and then they would learn about it afterwards.
Why
But they
did they
never
even
they
know about it,
half the
David?
people that went into XRP did not even know what it did. Same thing
Why?
like with Cardano. A lot of
They
people who went
didn't
into
just look
Cardano
at
have
the
no
ticker,
clue what the
David.
fuck it was about.
They didn't just log on to Coinbase blind and look at the ticker and go, "Oh, I'm gonna buy this because it's low price." They didn't just do they have heard
Landy,
about it prior
they
to
heard
that.
about Bitcoin and they went and bought XRP instead.
They didn't think XRP was Bitcoin, though. They knew that it was like
No,
Bitcoin because it was
no.
a cryptocurrency.
One after they bought XRP for pennies, they would go into their little chats. You would find the XRP chat, and people would start conversating about how XRP is going to surpass Bitcoin.
And yes, Bengal Tiger, I am.
These were the conversations. I was there in the trenches, man. They were saying XRP is going to flip Bitcoin, it's going to flip Ethereum, and you should continue to buy and accumulate as much XRP as you can. And then people started to understand that Jed holds a lot of XRP and he consistently dumps under a schedule.
Yep.
People started to thoroughly understand more and more and more about XRP as it moved forward, but the reasoning for them in terms of getting into XRP was because the price was cheaper.
It's the same reason
Until
that
the crazy
many
ass
alt
army formed and started promoting the fuck out of XRP,
the
and people
army was
started hearing about
already
X.
formed in
Why do you
2016.
hold on? Why was there such a war then? Like you should know this then. Why was there such a war between Bitcoin and XRP?
It was over which network was going to win.
No, because Bitcoin maxis were saying how garbage of a network XRP was.
That's
How
literally
centralized.
what I'm talking about.
Hold on. They would attack XRP, but I'm not going to say anything about. I'm not going to make XRP, the XRP army out to be angels. They would also attack Bitcoiners and say that you have old tech and we're
Kinda
about to
what they
flip
were
you.
known
I
for.
remember these days.
That's what they were known for was it look, it XRP had already been around for 3.5 years at that point. All right. XRP already had an army. XRP
Bengal,
already
do
had
not
a
defend them.
well-established narrative.
It's
XRP had already had good upside price movement and performance in the past.
Landy,
They
it's the people that first got into crypto. Some people, their first asset was XRP.
in 2013, yes, some that were very early to
No,
crypto.
I'm not even going to go into 13. I'm going to go higher. I'm going to go into the 16 area. I'm not going
Because
to
it was
13.
already well established, David.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
So was Ethereum. So were
During
these
that time, XRP was under a penny.
it, oh my god damn it. I you don't
Guys, you
want
can
to
tune
hear
into
what I'm
Landy
saying.
tonight as he goes out and hopefully
I'm gonna
breaks
fucking
down.
shit all over these charts. You know I love you, David.
I love you too. Just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean that I don't love you. No Diddy. I'm just saying. All right. Listen, it is what it is. Landy, ladies and gentlemen. If you need somebody to piss you off, just go ahead and grab his number, send him a DM. At 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though, you can go ahead and check him out as he breaks down the markets with his market update. Okay. Check out Landy. Does a phenomenal job Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Follow him at Crypto Landy on Twitter and on TikTok. Follow him at landy.btc. Landy.btc. Landy, as always, it's a pleasure to see your puppet ass appear on this show and on this screen. I'm gonna have Peter. I can't wait. So I started Monday off with you. I have Peter Schiff coming. I have Grant Cardone coming. We got a bunch of people come.
Are
Peter
you
Schiff, I'm sure me and him are going to be battling for an hour, even though I don't want to battle him. But I have some things that I've written down, and I think they're pretty good questions that I'm going to be submitting to my man Peter.
now, are you you're obviously going to be spacing them out, like, but I would love to see Grant Cardone and Peter on the same have a little debate at some point. I know that they have, I believe they have online at some points here and
Yeah.
there, but no, I mean, I'm looking forward to look. Peter's a smart guy. I vehemently disagree with him. His thesis is really predicated on Bitcoin not being worth anything.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that he is a very intelligent guy. Um, and I'm interested to hear what Grant's thoughts are as well. So, and David, and for the audience, by the way, David and I, we get on each other's. You should have seen us on Spaces, but I freaking love David, and I
I'm
will.
like, you don't have to tell them. They know. Like, stop.
They don't. There's certain people here that are.
Who cares? Let them run
I'm
around
the
and say
evil
that
puppet.
David and
Oh
Lanley
wait,
got into an argument and they're not friends
wait.
no more.
I'm the douchebag puppet. I'm the king of douchebags. So we're bringing that one back. But much love to you, David.
I might
And
be.
enjoy the rest of
Somebody
your.
offered a jet. They said, Dave, I got a jet ready for you to come down to Miami. Shit might be going down. I don't
All right,
know.
so, like,
The Jewish Council called me.
are you gonna be going like today,
I'm
tomorrow?
in and out. It's not to see anybody. In that like I'm not meeting up with the crowd. I have
Business, not pleasure.
respectfully. I'm not meeting up with the crowd. Like we can meet up on Twitter. Like there's no need for us to talk in person. But this is more networking and some cool shit. So
Well, if you do make your way down there, I would suggest that you at least meet up with two people that I know that are down there that are good friends. But I know you've got the council's going to want you to meet with very specific individuals, right? So I mean,
the
they're not
Jews,
going to put you
the
on
Jews are
the plane.
talking about giving me my card back. So this is a very interesting meeting.
Weird. So
Yes.
you're going to be going from Florida to Israel then? Okay, I see how it is.
The ADL said that they might be taking down my alt-right page on their website.
No, that's not happening. Are you kidding me? They're gonna double down. ADL ADL Southern Poverty Law Center, they're gonna plaster you up there with a new updated picture.
And I was thinking I should have got a whole poster. I should have posterized my face all over the place for consensus.
Oh god, all the right people would be so mad. I'm sorry. There's so many things that I cannot say publicly right now. Shout out to TikTok. Shout out to the X chat. And everybody telling me how wrong I am. Make sure you tune in to David this week live from possibly Miami, possibly Israel, possibly at ADL Southern Poverty Law Center headquarters. We don't really know. He's
Oh
going to be
boy.
doing pull-ups wherever it is, though.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. I was going to videotape my workouts. I was close to videotaping my workouts. And I was like, nah. It's not like, videotaping my workouts or going live with them. None of these fat bastards to get off the couch anyway. So the fuck, what's the point? There's no point. Oh, you're gonna have the fat guy on the couch telling me that I'm doing a pull-up wrong. That's what's gonna happen. Your form's off. Like, yeah, show me your form. Dude got a cheese doodle hanging off his beard and shit. Fucking holding a PS5 remote control. Telling me, playing Fortnite, telling me, hey, your form is off. Oh boy.
I just want to acknowledge that you said videotape like 4 different times, and there's most people in the audience that probably have no idea what a videotape is. So that's how OG David is.
Say that
Oh.
again.
I said most of the audience doesn't know what a videotape is, so that's how OG you are.
Not me. Can't be me.
Am I? Yeah, no, it must be me.
That's crazy. By the way, I do want to say rest in peace to Spirit Airlines. I cracked a joke which didn't go over well with too many people. I said that they should start with all these charity tokens. They should have started one for Spirit Airlines. But
The Waffle House of airlines is no
listen,
longer.
since 1983, the only fucking airline that didn't have a fucking crash, right? Somebody said that. It's wild. It's wild to think about because they would tape up the fucking planes.
I
with
mean,
speed fucking tape. I mean, like this is an airline that would they would for somehow magically the fucking airplane could fly with one wing.
look, they didn't. They might have lost all your luggage all the time, but they didn't crash.
Yo, you seen that guy throwing like they were doing like I will remember you kind of thing, and you seen a guy throwing out the luggage out of frustration. They were showing like all the fights on the plane. They were showing the fights within like the staff itself.
It's the Waffle
Yeah,
House.
it was the
of
most
airlines.
ghetto ass fucking.
Yo. It was like a flying Waffle House. I mean, that's really what it
Oh
was.
my god, it was so ghetto. It was. Shout out to. By the way, let's give a massive shout out to Senator Warren. That's right. Senator Warren said, "No, we will not have a merger between JetBlue and Spirit Airlines. It would cost people jobs and there will be less flights." Well, you're right.
Meanwhile,
You were
JetBlue
right.
all over their terror.
Now they got no flights
Yeah.
and they got no jobs. So congratulations. The Biden administration wins, as she said.
Oh my god.
A win
Texas,
for Biden.
It had spirit. It did have spirit. It had soul.
Yeah, if there's one airliner that had soul, and now Delta's canceling air flights and shit. So, all right, 2:00. I gotta fucking beat it here.
All right, take care, David.
I'm looking for a watch and shit. I hate when that happens. You go like this looking for your watch and you don't even have it on. I hate that shit. You know when like yes, I do this. It's a really bad thing in person. I might not wear a watch, and I'm like, somebody will ask me for the time, and I'm like, and I'm telling them the time as if I had a watch. Fucking farted.
Yo, Warren said that's my senator.
I've been shit. What? Oh boy. Shout out to TikTok. I love TikTok. Now I finally realized that Twitter is retarded. Okay, I finally have now realized that instead of you motherfuckers talking in the chat, you're commenting on the show. Now listen, I respect it too because it does benefit me with the algorithm. But holy shit, don't you? Linda, if you look, there's two sections. It's live chat and comments.
Yeah.
Look at the comments. I'm looking at the phone. I'm like, why don't you bring your asses in here and comment?
Oh, that's too funny.
The whole time I'm trying to fix it. I went into my live studio. I see that I had nobody can reply on, which is wild. Like I never even did that.
I'm looking now.
I've never done that. I've never even been there to do that. Anyway, thank you, Landy, for participating. I appreciate you, even though you're wrong. And I will see you tomorrow on tomorrow's show at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right. Well, thank you for having me, David. I appreciate you, brother.
I hope you get on everybody's nerves today.
Oh, it's been a mission.
And nice flag in the back. I love how you're trying to have this synergy with me here.
Yes, I'm David Gokhshtein in puppet form. That's the goal.
This week, ladies and gentlemen, I will be releasing the Gokhshtein.com website. Gokhshtein Media is back. Stay tuned. Landy, as always. Adios, amigo. That's Landy, man. Landy said, I choose violence today. That's what Landy said. I choose violence today. And I'm coming on to his show. You know what? He was really nice. I heard him speaking. He was really nice on the Wolf Finance show. On the Wolf Finance show, Wolf Financial, on their show, he was really fucking cordial and nice. When it comes to my show, he comes in here like a goddamn monster. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it is 1:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have meetings today. I got shit to do today. I'm actually excited. A lot of things are happening. Thank you, God, kind of thing. So, shout out to my moderators on TikTok, Tech and Fran, as always. Shout out to everybody who continues to come in here. Shout out to the guy who called me a LARP. Shout out to the people on shout out to my retarded people on Twitter that are commenting versus live chatting. I would ask Twitter, maybe we should do something to where we take away the feature of commenting and just allow them to all chat, because obviously they're a little bit confused here. Shout out to everybody else that's tuned in from the other social media networks. And yeah, we'll be right back right after this commercial break with the quote of the day.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we build Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome back to the show. Quote of the day. I want to say thank you to everybody who showed up on this Monday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. I don't know. I don't watch Star Wars, but for all you geeks who do, all the pictures that I've seen on my timeline already of people dressing up like in Star Wars gear, good for you, man. Good for you. I can obviously tell what you guys do with your lives. Let's go ahead and do the quote of the day. Look at my girl running. Love seeing that. Shout out to Armina out there running, getting ready for the marathon over there. Shout out, shout out, shout out. Let me go ahead and let me find this. Okay, ready? Here's the quote of the day. Okay, here's the quote of the day. Your greatest competition is your own potential. Most people never reach it because they quit too soon. Don't be most people. Your greatest competition is your own potential. Most people never reach it because they quit too soon. Don't be most people. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been sponsored by the title sponsor, Midnight. Shout out to Midnight. They are out there at Consensus right now. Midnight City's coming. You got the whole staff talking there. Shout out to Polymarket. Polymarket is the official prediction market sponsor of the DG brand and of the breakdown. Cake Wallet, the most secure wallet, one of the most secure wallets that we have in our industry, and the awards that they got at Bitcoin. Shout out to the entire staff. Of course, shout out to the entire staff. They got 2 awards out there at Bitcoin 2026. So shout out to Vic and Seth and that entire staff. Good for them. Good for them getting that recognition. And People's Reserve, the People's Reserve, CJ killed it out there. They killed it. I think the People's Reserve is going to do phenomenal things. Seriously, I really do. CJ is very well spoken. Very well spoken. Killed it. I watched it. He killed it. On the presentation, on the talks, on the conversation, he killed it. 100%. So that was good to see. Anyway, guys, it's been real. It's sunny out. I got meetings to go to, but after the meetings, after I'm done, I am rocking out with my and I am going to enjoy the rest of the day. And I will see you back here on Tuesday. Technically, I don't know if I fly out, but I don't know. We shall see. But on that note, have a wonderful day.